Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a quick video on graphing in WAMAP, some of the graphing questions where you actually have to put a graph onto a grid. And sometimes some of them only have a couple options down here. Sometimes they'll have a lot of options. So I'll talk about those first, and then I'll go ahead and work on this problem right here. So um, depending on which of these options down below you pick will depend on what kind of thing you can draw. So I have the line selected and I pick just 2 points. It'll graph a line through those points. And you just click wherever you want those points and then the line will come in automatically. If you want to clear that, then you do, like if I click again, it'll just draw more lines. So you do have to click the clear all if you want to clear it out. Some of these, right, parabola, again, first place you click, right, that would be the vertex and then just somewhere else on the line. So if you want a sideways one, you can do it that way as well through those guys. So most of these, this is going to be a cubic that's next, then a square root, then a cube root, looks like absolute value. So some of these are kind of your basic, what are called toolkit functions. And you can just click whatever points it shows are basically going to be the types of points that it draws around there. So so there's all of those. There's also these ones with asymptotes. I'm going to clear those out. This one is a rational function. So wherever your two asymptotes meet, right, that would be there. And then somewhere else, right, that you have a point, you can click there. So that would be good for a rational function that has a horizontal asymptote and one vertical asymptote. The next two are going to be exponentials and logs. So an exponential function, notice that grade asymptote. There you click wherever the asymptote goes, then you'll click another point and then another point. So this one has 3 clicks, one for the asymptote, one for a point on the graph, and then one for another point on the graph. Same deal with logs, only this time you'll have a vertical asymptote, a point on the graph, and then another point on the graph. So that's kind of the way the tools work. Circles will be the center and then some other point on the circle, and the other two are going to be some cosine and sine curves that are right there. So if we're doing this one right here, graphing the exponential, I'm going to select that option. And right now I'm just going to work on this 2 to the x plus 1, and then we'll adjust things after that. So if it were just 2 to the x, or actually, yeah, just 2 to the x, I would have an asymptote at 0. Then I would have this point at 0, 1. That's any exponential. And then it would go, for 2 to the first, it would go up to 2, right? So if it were 3 to the first, it would go up to a 3. So I'm just going to graph that as kind of my base and then talk about what adjustments are going to be made. So this plus 1, right, this will shift the graph to the left 1. So that doesn't change the asymptote, but everything will move over 1 unit. And then everything gets multiplied by 3, right? So this 1 would go up to a 3. This point at height 2 would now go up to a 6. So I'm going to go ahead and graph that as well. So if we shift it over to the left 1, this point would come here and then go 3 times as high. Oops, and that was supposed to be the asymptote, so I'm going to clear it. So let's go and put those back in. So asymptote first, we're going to say, here's my asymptote. Right there, same place. This time this shifts left 1, but goes up 3 times as high. This point also goes up to the left 1, but then 3 times as high. So now it's up at a 6. So there's those 2 points right there. This minus 8 on the outside is going to shift all of these down 8 units. So the asymptote's going to come down 8 units. This point at 3 will come down to a negative 5. This point at 6 will come down to a negative 2. So everything just shifts down. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that. And if you want to write these down on the side, you can. But that should be a negative 1 that's now coming down all the way to -5, and a 6 that comes down to -2. So let's clear that. Exponential, right, the asymptote is at -8. Now this point at -1, we said was at -5, and this point on the axis at -2. You can always also graph this on your calculator Desmos just to kind of make sure that that's looking right. And after that, go ahead and submit, and hopefully, right, you get the green, not the yellow or red. So anyway, that's kind of the graphing tools, and then just using transformations to graph that exponential. Hope that helped.